opportunity to move to 5 under for Cho Ayan, putting from just inside the fringe. Well, started left of the hole and stayed left of the hole all the way in. In case you did miss the story on Hankyung, we won't dwell on it too long because what's been more impressive is her recovery from the incident, but she had to withdraw from the season's second event, the Hankyung World Championship, mid-April. So she had her head collide with the windshield, had some contusions, but nothing too serious. And then she was clearly not herself next in St. Nine Masters. Finished 9th remarkably, but then she had to withdraw from the KLPGA Championship the following week. She missed the cut the week after that. And then things started to turn around from Doosan, where she finished 3rd. When she was asked about where she is mentally and physically right now, she said, "To tell the truth, I'm having some difficulties in maintaining my strength. So I try not to think of winning too much this week. Because I played well last week, I do want to go for the second consecutive win." G with a brilliant tee shot down to the center of the fairway. What a star-studded group that is. And 2 shots back at the turn. Hankyung with a second round 69 to finish at 9 under. Through 36 holes. And some more good performances. Top to bottom, a few players in 6 under. Shouting out Chung Yoon Ji, Chun Ye Sung, and Chung Yeon Ju. All very firmly on page 1 of the leaderboard. As we continue to roll through this leaderboard, we will eventually come to our projected cut line, which, as it stands, is anyone above par would not have enough to qualify. 64 players at the moment would be through to Sunday. This is round number 2 of the BC Card Hankyung Ladies Cup, and we are live from Fortune Hills Country Club. Back in a moment. Well, the tee shot at number 10 for Imi Jung was off to the right. Still 300 meters out. She'll be playing this with the wood. Stayed a little bit more right than you might expect with that lie. She's going to get a very friendly roll down the slope and back into the fairway. Speaking of interesting lies, that certainly classifies. Doesn't look like it impeded the shot-making ability, though, and it is back on in position for the par. Like any practice swing on the range, the end result would concur as well. She's also going to get that bounce to the left, but that's just as the fairway widens out, and for Bang Min-ji, that will be just fine. Not enough juice on it. Will be consecutive pars for Nina. High into the sky and rolling within a meter of a hole out. That is a absolutely exquisite bit of wedge play. Into 6, trying to save par, no, pulled. Be a tough one for Yu Hyu Ju. Setup, it looks, it was not overly complicated. It struck pretty well, just didn't get enough of the middle with the pace it was carrying. Back to 10, Bang Min-ji, it's 92 meters. Gap wedge. Straightens out of the fringe and comes up nice and close. Another stance with the ball is slightly above the feet of Imi Jung. Playing into the wind. Perhaps it got in her head a little bit as she's shortchanged it and not arrived up on the green. First birdie since the 8th after a lovely on. She just needs the one putt to pick up a stroke. And the 4th on the par 5. Just a little flop to get it started and didn't carry it quite far enough out of the fringe to give it a shot. About 3.5, 4 meters as she looks to save par. putt from the border of the fringe. This is the second time we've seen this particular path stay way straighter than the player approaching it had forecasted. So there's a point midway through that break that is just fooling their eyes a little bit. Or perhaps it's a little bit less than level where they're actually approaching the ball. Keep an eye on that spot for our groups to come through. Picks up ENG looking for her birdie. Uses the flag as a stopper and drops in and is now within one. 3 birdies in the last 4 holes. And with still nearly half of her round to be played, she's right back up in the mix for the top spot. Everyone above her putting some birdies together. The last thing Amy Jung wants to do is drop, and that's what she's done. Pulled it by quite some margin, and the difficulty getting up onto the 10th green is going to cost her her 2nd bogey of the day.
이동 멈춰주세요.
That's a great putt under a bit of pressure. In Ginny, it had been nearly half a round between birdies, but the defending champions got another. Yeah, Young, lovely. Absolutely brilliant. Every other hole since the 7th, she has been writing a circle down on that scorecard, and she's starting to make some noise. The supporters following her certainly are doing their part. And now EA1 crumbles on that very short par putt. Only 14 birdies here. Par 3 11th today. 6 bogeys, and everyone else has been able to find the bottom of the cup in 3 strokes.
조금만 나와주세요. 플레이 할게요.
있어요?
뒤 있어.
Might this be the hole that Bang Min-ji gets back into a share of the lead? It's going to take quite the birdie putt after she's hung this out a little bit to the right. A 69 in round number 1 for Imjini. She has her 3 birdies once again, though the bogey at the third has her down at 2 under through 10. Lands with a thud onto the green. Quite the significant drop downhill from the tee blocks, nearly 30 meters, using just about every available blade of grass for Yunina to stay in the fairway. Approach onto the island green over the water. She's going to get a very fortunate kick. Back up and onto safety. An outside chance at birdie. Well, it's definitely a close contest, and don't forget Yunina has nearly a handful of holes still in hand on Bang Min-ji, so over the course of the next 2 hours, those two will slowly but surely chip away at the lead currently held by Seo-jin. Turning into a beautiful day this Saturday in Pocheon-si. 30 degrees and the sun is out to play along here at Fortune Hills. This is round 2 of the BC Card Hankyung Ladies Cup. Well, there's 8.1 meters between Peng Min-ji and a share of the lead. She had 11 of them. It is not to be. So a little tap-in par. And 11 under through 11 on the day, 29. 54 holes this weekend. Back to 7. Some work to be done for Unina. After the putts we saw yesterday, I wouldn't count her out of this. Some significant right to left movement, especially at the very end, keeps her out. And she too will be settling for a par. This looks pretty good. It has the speed. In the end, it had the speed, but straightened out on Ingini. So tap in par at number 11 as well. Just 2 holes to go in the front 9 for Unina. She's hardly put a step wrong thus far. From just on the fringe and just inside of 7 meters. Quite enough to get it all the way there, so it will be par. It's an improvement from number 10, but it is not an improvement in the leaderboard. The 12th hole is a 366-meter par 4. Right away, and obviously the hazard, the water pretty much all the way down the left side of the fairway. Sand on either side of the first bit of fairway and the creek to separate the approach path. A very, very interesting 3-tiered green here as well. The average golfer, which these players certainly are not, would not be trying to drive into, especially with the creek. Then you have the green, or the grass bunker, excuse me, off the front left. Also have the sand at the back right. Pin placement today is nearly all the way to the back, just 8 yards off of the back and in the exact middle of the width. Another very good drive for the current runner-up. Yesterday she had her share of adventures off the tee, having missed 4 of her fairways in regulation, though she's been battling the wind, as does everyone else, taking 11 yards on average off of her drives. And no complaints for the defending champ. Pick up a little extra juice as the topspin takes it down the fairway, the longest drive of the group. And it is 3 for 3 into the fairway. It was an important par at the last for Amy Jung, just to prevent a big slip. She has some breathing room, but not a ton of it. Young just one birdie thus far after an opening round of 6 under. Teed off at number 10 today, so this our 7th hole of the day. Gets it up, not necessarily as much to the left as she would have been aiming for, but she will be putting for birdie nevertheless. One identical round of 6 under par is the best of everyone, both in the combined score, but also of the rounds thus far in progress. We do have Jung Yoon Ji, who was out with was finishing her second round with a 68 today. Takes her up to 4 under. Big movers. And so me, a birdie to get to 3 under. So Yen's got a great round in progress as well. 4 under to get her back to even and inside the cut line for now. Park Wo-gyam, who is 3 under today, is within 1 of the cut line, up 45 spots for her. And with a camera angle from the back of the green, a really good representation of the 3 tiers. Different levels, if you will. And battling the course and battling her body as well. Chanana trying to chip her way back into safety above the cut line, but she's not going to be able to pick up birdie here. She'll tap in for a par. She had her first birdie of the day at number 12 and using the putter almost like a cane just to help her get through. Something definitely is not right, but she is as tough a customer as we have on tour. I have to wonder even if she is able to get up to that elusive even par mark, if she'd be good to go for tomorrow. Well, from the first champion to the defending champion, they approach a 12. 25 meters at the apex of that ball flight and up onto the green. We do have everybody who's won this event competing to try and win it for a second time, as Oh Ji-hyun had done in 2016 and 2017, with the exception of Chae Hye-jin, the winner in 2018, who is playing in the United States this season. Now pitching up from the rough and not going to be able to get quite enough to the left-hand side to prevent it from slipping down the hill. Wang Minji, 56% of her drives that find the fairway have resulted in birdie thus far this week. It's the best of the 132 players in the field. Even from the rough, she's found birdie 17% of the time. Hasn't found the sand once. Well, the least impressed with the approach shot is Yimi Jung, who has that ball still rolling towards the front edge. She doesn't get quite up enough to that third and final rise at the back of the green. Jae Young for birdie. Works its way back to the right, but it started that move too early. It is a 2-putt par at 17. She led to her final hole of the front nine. Be hoping for many more birdies on her way back in. Just not enough. The ball hangs over the lip, but does not want to go down for Yuni Na. Look says it all. Couldn't have given me just a little bit more. Needed one more example of just how blustery it is. When you have our camera as far zoomed in as they are, any little vibration in the tower will cause it to look like it's riding a wave. Valiant try from the left side of the green.
몇이라고 해봐? 피센트 35. 일단 다시 볼까? 일단 확실히
나가는지 확인.
안 나왔어.
This par 3 14th, only 15 birdies today.
35?
To be fair, only 9 scores over par.
올라가겠습니다.
Look at this. Good shot. I think sells that a little bit short. That was a near hole-in-one. It's just 10 centimeters between Young and a brand new Maserati. How about that? She accounted for everything. The club was there. She knew she needed to be a bit more to the right with the wind. It's 12 with Ingenie for birdie, also just to the inside of the hole. Well, the birdie chase remains elusive. She's definitely hanging more than around the strike zone, but the problem, at least in her personal situation, is that her groupmate is not really showing any signs of slowing down. Another opportunity to get into a share of the lead.
간다! 아우!
Well, the first miss to the outside we've seen in the past 3 shots as she grazes by. The lead will be safe for at least one more hole. And the last of the par saves belongs to the woman who had the longest drive of the 3. She is the last to finish. In no real direct terms is she moving as gingerly as Chanana, but the heat and the sheer length of this golf course beginning to take a toll on Imi Jung. And from the par 4 to one of 3 par 5s of the 5. Not the 4, excuse me, that are beyond 500 meters. This has the distinction as the 3rd longest, 512 meters, and again, no issues seemingly on this Saturday off the tee. Mentioned it yesterday, but it is worth repeating. With the incredible results these past couple of weeks for Feng Minji, she is really starting to surge, not only up the money and points list here on the LPGA Tour of Korea, but with 2 wins on the season and a good performance at last week's national championship. G is now ranked number 18 in the World Rolex rankings. And 5 Koreans inside the top 20. Slightly off center to the right, but a brilliant drive once again from Ingenie. This stretch 13 to 18 yesterday where it was all pars on the way in for Imi Jung. She continues to drive near perfectly. 12 of 13 in regulation yesterday. She can add another one to her total today. Also didn't miss a green in regulation yesterday. A perfect 18 for 18. Tell you, with the names in this group, it's a pretty good one to follow. She is 3 under on the day, thanks in large part to these long distance putts like we saw on the third after bogeying the second. And on number 7, he lost the ball for a moment and behind caddy and group mate, but it would go down. Yesterday she had plenty of these runs. Seemed like every other hole, and then 3 and 4, 12 and 13 she went back to back. Today she does it at 7 and 8. The approach shot to set that 6-meter. Well, the supporters are being treated to a show, and G herself is certainly feeling her golf right now. The most recent was at 10. Tip of the cap versus fist pump this time, but that is what has her within 1. She nearly shed 4 putts off of her season average, which is just a sliver inside of 30, but it was only 26 putts yesterday. After having only missed 2 greens in regulation, she was less than 5 yards to the hole. Jan Sol, nice birdie. Into a share of the top 10 with her 4th birdie of the day. Downhill, left to right, no problem, she says. And now the second set up as if it was on a tee. Pull to the left side of the fairway. Fairway to fairway she goes with another wonderfully struck wood. Following suit. Just a casual Saturday stroll for this group. Just happens to be golf clubs involved. It's 283. And the shaft of that wood shining in the sun. That is hooked slightly into the rough. The first miss of the 3 after Imi Jung and Bungmin Ji were basically, or will basically be standing side by side when they play their next. Seems only a matter of time for Bungmin Ji until she's able to eclipse So Jean, and then the question from there will be how much more work, how much more space can she put between she and the rest of the field. Hankyung with a nice round of 70 as well to move inside of the top 10. Well, we're through an hour. It is 4 p.m. local time at Fortune Hills. We'll take another quick break and be back momentarily to round number 2 of the BC Card Hankyung Ladies Cup. Well, she nearly had a race. Instead, she will be settling for a birdie. Not quite the Maserati to go along with it, but that is a birdie on every other hole. And a perfect illustration of the importance of getting this a little bit above the pin. If you're going to spin back, you want to give yourself that breathing room. You can also see, relative to where it is right now, be a bit right. Well, that is definitely the, wouldn't even call it conservative, just simply the way to go. He's 9 meters below the pin right now. That's very promising for Amy Jung, and will be 2 paces in front of her group mate, who is also up safely. Occupy the top 2 spots in K rankings. Taking into consideration the last 45 and 48 events respectively that those 2 have played. But the gap, despite it being 1-2, is still 170 points. This is out of the rough. Also going to have enough to get to the back, though with the second cut, doesn't quite get the spin to slow it up from where it landed. Go take quite the putt out of those 3 for somebody to find a bird. To Jae-Young. 2/3 of a swing. Does the trick. Comes all the way to the back. Thought about rolling closer to the pin, but will stay right where it was. This is the journey so far on number 9. I have a feeling this is another one that went for a journey down the cart path, because that is a 290-meter drive, leaving only about 70 meters still to go. She's 88% in her greens in regulation so far on the day. Unfortunately, this one is going to roll to the fringe. I think that'll still technically count as another one made, but she's definitely on that border of the fringe. Don't look now, but Jian Sol is starting to pick up.
맛있어. 네. 넉넉히 생각해도 돼. 슬라이드가 확실히.
뒤 확실히 있어요.
확실히. 나이스.
플레이하겠습니다. 이동 멈춰주세요.
플레이하겠습니다.
지금 안 치자.
나이스 버디. 감사합니다.
나이스 버디.
감사합니다.
30일 했지. 143. 거리. 오케이.
나이스!
그냥 레드에서 6살이고 43,
20분 화이팅. 조금만 더 힘내면 돼.
체중도 잘 안 돼요.
Well, our apologies for the issues with the audio for the past little while, but we have everything back sorted. We appreciate your patience. And we are back out to 16 with Bungmin Ji as the quest for 11 under continues. This ball needs to get right in a hurry, and it stayed pretty much straight as an arrow all the way down. The weight was there, the line just was not. So it'll be a tap-in par, and she remains one back. Hole by hole she goes, and two back, excuse me, with Zoe Jean at 12 under par. Well, the first champion of this event deserves a ton of credit for gritting it out when her body did not want to cooperate today. She was still able to find a pair of birdies at 12 and 18, and she limps off and will make her exit falling beneath the cut line. Hope that whatever is ailing Shanana will not be something long-term and she can rehab that quickly. Imjini, this is her third birdie of the back nine. She moves to 7 under with just a pair of holes to play. And a putt to take the national champion into a tie for 11th. Looks pretty good. It is good. Well, it is her first birdie since the 4th hole. A couple of bogeys and an eagle in between that lengthy span, but she finally has it, and you can see the relief on her face. '17 will be next. The penultimate hole, a par 4. And a very long one at that. 349 meters. With sand to the left of the fairways, a trio of bunkers that really won't be in play off the tee as well. Of course, have the water initially to the left, but another one where it should be free and clear. Then the sand that separates the hole immediately to the 17th left, and then down onto the green. It is a very central pin location today, the exact middle of the width of the green and 14 yards off the front. We've only had 11 birdies here today out of the 103 that have contested it thus far. Imjini now in
자, 플레이하겠습니다. 잠시 멈춰주세요.
confident form. Tied for 5th. Yesterday, she had gone par and par. Well, quite frankly, she had gone par 15 through 18. Hoping to change that and get a little bit closer to Sojin. Perfectly executed shot with the driver.
플레이하겠습니다. 플레이하겠습니다. 이동 잠시만 멈춰주세요.
It was par all the way from 13 to the clubhouse for Imi Jung yesterday. Been driving fantastically well, 91% on her fairways in regulation. She makes another, and maybe that birdie will inject a bit of confidence into her game for these final 2 holes.
플레이하겠습니다. 멈춰주세요.
Minji yesterday, a birdie here.
플레이하겠습니다. 이동 잠시만 멈춰주세요.
9 of 11 fairways in regulation today, 13 of 16 greens in regulation. And that's been one of the more noticeable improvements in her game. Up 7 points in her fairways in regulation, only 71 first best, excuse me, her fairways in regulation on tour. But the greens in regulation have been the calling card of her game once again. That is a long-range effort from Cho Jung-min. Her first birdie of the day. 2 double bogeys and a bogey at 3 as well for the champion from 2019. Over to 18, we will rejoin Young. A little pitch up and very, very close to her birdie. Should have one more to finish off her round. It's been quite the day for her. 2 under, up 3 spots inside the top 10. If she can convert on that birdie, despite having a handful of competitors still in the field, that would take her to sole possession of 5th for the moment and 4 back. We will see that putt momentarily, but in the meantime,
있으면 들어오 바람이겠죠? 칠게요.
we go on to the tee, also at 18, with Jihan Sol at 4 under. And par 5s have been her bread and butter. 9th lowest score on average of everyone on tour. She'll head to the left and get a kick back to the middle of the fairway.
꼭 앞바람은 아니죠. 공만 보자. 공 봐주세요.
Tied for 5th in the most accurate greens in regulation percentage. And if Jian Sol's been good on the par 5s, she's been even better. The best, in fact, of everyone on tour this season. Is she going to get that bounce out? Yes, just from the rough to the left side of the fairway and back into the first cut.
C가
9번은 아니죠?
9번은 아니야. 힘보다 무조건 오른쪽으로 가죠.
It's a little left to right the wind. 127 meters out. Should be a 9-iron for Bang Eun-ji. She's up onto the green, and this is very much in her wheelhouse. 2 holes remaining to try and get back to the top of the leaderboard to end the day for the 2nd consecutive day. You can see there's not much wiggle room here. This green on 17, you have to be in the center to avoid some tricky topography. 21 meters at the apex of that ball flight. She's slightly left, more than slightly left. It's carried a bit too much distance on that. Back to 18, the first of the birdie putts. Cho Ayeon, she's got hers. It is 2 under on the day. That run from 12 to 14 took a lot of the wind out of her sails and dropped her down, but she will finish the day at 2 under. It's 116 for Im Jin-hee. As the wind dies down, reaching for a pitching wedge. Right at the flag. Might have even glanced off the side of it. That's how accurate she was. No wind, no movement, just attacking the stick and coming up with a really nice approach. And she too will be liking her odds for birdie. All around 2 meters remaining. A little left to right, but not much. She's got it. Well, it is in with the 32 after being over par through 9 holes of play. And she does get up to 600. She's within 1 of ENG now. It's a very nice back 9. Well, still 7 more greens to deal with today for Unina. Her first putt within 20 centimeters. She'll have her tap in par. Her birdies, they had come at 3 and 4, and it has been all pars ever since. A similar quiet round in progress from Peng Min-ji, though she just has 2 holes to play. The gap does remain 2. It is So Jean who continues to lead this second round moving day here at Fortune Hills Country Club. We've just passed 5 p.m. local time. Continue to cascade through the leaderboard and take a quick break and be right back out to the 17th. Well, the first of the efforts for birdie on the 17th. An opportunity to move back inside the top 10. That was a substantial break. Finishes about a meter to the right of the cup, so after her birdie, she's right back on the par train. Still 3 under for the day, which is a bang average score relative to much of the field today. We go to the fairway that she will be attacking next, enjoying Chien Sol after her lovely tee shot. It's a simple wedge, or simple wood, excuse me, well executed. And another good chunk of yardage taken up. Well, she's been chasing this bird for some time, trying to make it 2 days in a row. Inside of 4 meters. Oh, that's on line. Yes, she's got it. Within 1. Her first since the 10th, and if not for her bogey at 14, she would be level with Sojin. And as we've seen, 18 has been relatively birdie-friendly today. Here's Isomi from just inside the rough. Her feet were there, her ball in the fairway, and she sends it down to set up her final approach of the day. Now in Genie for sole possession of P5 and 8 under. Another little right to left. Ooh, straighter than she hoped. She's had a few today where she's had the benefit of that revolution where it would drop 4, but not to be the case on 17. So she stays level with Oh Ji-hyun and Chung Yeon-ju, who are both at 7 under as well. So that shakes up the leaderboard a little bit with Bang Min-ji, which is a pretty good segue into the LFAZI's points. Up 2 spots into the top mark, 5 points and only 5 points clear of Yoo Hae-ran. Ie-won, Chi Han-sol, Lee Ga-young, Park Ji-young, Kim Soo-ji, Kwon So-yeon, they round out the top 8. The season-long competition, the race for the LFAZI's Point Championship. And tomorrow after the cut, that is when the strokes start to really matter. 100 points for a hole-in-one, 50 for an eagle, 10 for a birdie, 5 for a par. You lose some on the way down. You'll also get some deductions for missed cuts. Consecutive top 10s also reward you, which has been the case for Bang Min-ji and Yoo Hae-ran. Chien Sol as well, 800 points for consecutive top 10s so far this season. Isomi, she has a 2 under round in progress. 5 under and 70 meters back. Par here yesterday. I like the odds. It's a bit further out than she would have ideally planned for, but that's a pretty straight lie from there. Slightly uphill, if anything, for Isomi. And 3 meters closer for this wedge shot is Chi Han-sol. He catches it a little bit thick. She's going to get her spin back. She'll end up as the closest of this trio. Give her good odds for birdie as well. to the green momentarily, but in the meantime, to the tee blocks. Peng Min-ji tees off first after her birdie. Does she have one more in store today? We'd expect nothing less than a start like that.
거의 앞으로만 봐도. 오케이.
They are now the top two in both the points and the money lists. Im Jung and Peng Min-ji. Im Ji-ni is 20th in the points, 95 this season. 23rd in the money, 121 million won. Nearly earned this year. She'll certainly be over that threshold by the end of the week. She'll have no quarrels with that drive. Thinking back to last year, mentioned this yesterday, a stat worth repeating. 66 in the final round is the lowest final round score of all the previous champions. She's certainly keeping herself in close. Never know what can happen on Championship Sunday. Well, another longest drive of the group. Everyone safely away into the fairway on the 36th hole of their tournaments. Over to 14. It's Chun Yo-min. She'll pick up a birdie. She's gone birdie every other hole from 10. The odds are stacked against her, but never say never. She can find 3 more on the way in. Might be enough to keep her in the tournament tomorrow. Here's Iso-mi. It's 4.6. Little right to left, but it looks like she's got a chance here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Iso-mi a birdie at the last. Consecutive rounds of 69. 3 birdies in the last 4 holes. 4 since the 12th. Finishes the day 6 back in a tie for 8th position. Remember, the cut line is even. And it's a good thing that that's where it is. EA1 misses her birdie. So she'll tap it in. That's a round of 71. 2 birdies on the front 9, a birdie at 15, but back-to-back bogeys 11 and 12. She's in. By the skin of her teeth, but she's in. This is a little bit more deceptive on this side of the cup than Iso-mi's effort. Giving herself plenty of room on the right side. It's a little straighter than you'd think. She has just enough. Nice birdie. So it's 5 under. She had her bogey at 5, but birdies at 1, 6, 8. And then 3 more on the way in. It's a good round for Ji-Han-sol. That is sole possession of 11th for her. .272 meters still to play. Min-ji rolling down to the left of this fairway. Slightly off center. Pretty much dead set and has nothing but a clear look down at the pin. Birdie gets her to a share of the lead. It's 266 for Imjini. Wants to obviously avoid the rough to the left and then the bevy of bunkers off to the right. Well, she too is safely down. She had to fend off quite the charge last year in order to hang on. 7 players would finish just 1 shot back, but her 278 would be enough for the title. Down the hill it goes, and there is not much between her and the green. She can enjoy the fruits of her labor as our featured group makes their way down the fairway and towards the 18th green tomorrow. Pungminji certainly has put herself in a good position to be in that featured group. She's one back. Uni Na in third on the 13th hole at the moment. Oji Hyun just one more green to navigate, having started on the 10th. 4 back at 8 under. Of course, Im Genie tied for 6th at the moment. Chance to go even lower. Jae Young as well. She is the last inside of the top 17 still on course. Starting to get a pretty clear picture of what's to come tomorrow. Championship Sunday is on the horizon. Hoping for another beautiful day like we've had today at Fortune Hills. Well, it is closing time for the featured group. There's Pungmin G's effort. That'll bite just in time. Won't be her easiest putt of the day by any means. Birdie certainly feels in the cards. It's 68 meters down. Lands it about 4 meters deeper than would have been ideal. Even if she doesn't have her birdie, she'll be within striking distance. That leaves Imi Jung 47 meters after a very nice effort to get down. Zips it in. She had her eagle at number 8 today. Wipes out the bogeys, excuse me, she had at 6 and at 10. A warm up for tomorrow when the stakes will be much higher. Well, we can feel all but certain that it'll be a birdie for Imi Jung. The other two, bit of a different story. You can see you can tell just by the shadows and from the groups that have come through, it's not only some movement on this for Pungmin G, but it's also downhill as well. It's not the smoothest or most straightforward of putts. And yeah, about there is that final breaking point. Well, a remarkable 94% of her trips to the green through 35 holes prior to this have been 1 or 2 putts. 1 or 2 putts has her within 1. 1 putt has her level. It's 6.2 meters. That looks quick. She will mark off and now try and have a quick reset, refocus. Prepare for a par that would keep her 1 back. At first glance, it feels left to right for Imjini. Be a bit uphill for her as well. Eight under would be a tie for 5th. Looks like she's got that lined up to just outside the right edge. These can snap, though, especially the further back you go. Here's the try. Yeah, that's left. So a 2-putt par. Opened the tournament with a 69. It's a 68 today. 5 back as she heads to the clubhouse. On to 14. Hyunju. Slightly beyond pin high, but relatively simple look back towards the pin. And speaking of relatively simple, she made very easy work of this 18th hole. 2 birdies in her last 3. 5 under is where she will end the day in a tie for 11th with Jihan Sol. A round of 68 today. And really, there's only 2 players inside the top 18 who can really shake up this leaderboard. Yunina is certainly one of them, with still a good hour of golf to be had. We'll quickly head back to 18. Looks like she's giving herself a lot of room to the inside of this cup. Too much. Yeah, that looked a bit of an interesting setup to it. And not necessarily for me to doubt someone of her pedigree, but just a momentary lapse in concentration. And it's going to be a bogey. Her second of the back 9, third of the day, so should have been a round of 69. Instead, it's a round of 70. She's level with Yunina at the moment, and so Jean has 2 strokes clear of the closest challengers at the minute. And just how important might that bogey be tomorrow? There's no doubt there will be a ton of pressure on So Jean. Far from guaranteed with the amount of golf still to be played today that the lead will be hers to enter Championship Sunday. But alas, she will know what's at stake. The 12th ranked rookie on tour this season, and as it stands, the top of the field. She'll have one last challenge from Oh Ji-hyun, who was on her 18th hole. Of course, Yunina on 14. Still a fair amount of golf still to be played for Chae-young as well. She is in a tie for 8th position. That's 6 under, even for her tournament so far, with the final 5 holes of what would be the front 9, though she had started on 10. And our Loam, Eun Yu-min, still hanging around the top 13. 4 under is her score. You can see her there. And another amateur, just 1 shot back with a round of 70 today. That is Im Ji-yu. Yuhei Ran, you see her tied for 27th. It's an odd day for her. Her birdies came at 1, 2, and 18. She had a double on 6 and a bogey on 3 for a round of 72 today. Kwon So-yeon down in the tie for 27th. She had an eagle. She also had a double bogey at 18. We'd seen some of it earlier, but Cho Jung-min 4 over par, 2 double bogeys today, a bogey, just a 1 bird. She is narrowly inside the cut line at 1 under. Ko Chiu 3 over today, as was Kang Ji-sun, both narrowly inside of the cut line at even. Kim Ae-rim is 2 under with about 6 to play on the front 9. Be a disappointing one for Park Bo-gyam. Left it a little bit too little too late. Despite going 3 under par, she would finish with 145 when 144 is the score we need to reach. Hang So-yeon as well. 4 under in progress, just 1 bogey on the day thus far. She is even, but only just. There you can see with the asterisk having started on 10. Kim Ae-rim also still out on course, trying to keep herself above the cut line. Here's Uni Na putting for birdie at 14. Just going to get uphill and take a lot of the speed off that was left. It is just short. Still hasn't found her birdie since the 4th. All pars since. 4 holes to make up 2 strokes. 3 if she wants the outright. And Yu Hyun-ju started to tail back online. Well, looks like she was carrying some momentum into the turn. Back-to-back bogeys, 8 and 9. Still in search for it from here. Some advanced stats to try and help us break down the round from Uni Na. You can see the putting hasn't always been the forte for the rookie. Of course, that's something that will come. The driving, that is definitely a forte. 241 meters this season on average. It's the best on tour. She's scoring 71.9 strokes per round, 34th. 78% greens in regulation is 8th. But as is the trade-off often, with that much distance, you sacrifice some accuracy. She's only 71% fairways in regulation this season. That is only just inside of the top 100. Birdie here yesterday for Yu Hyun-ju. Would be a welcome score today. She was unsure if she was going to keep it in the fairway. She was awfully close to the rough to the right, but it is one in regulation. not out of the realm of possibility by any means, with 4 holes still to play for Uni Na and just 2 strokes separating her and So Jin. Well, as mentioned, the longest driver on tour, 241 meters. Jungmin, 236 is second. Pak Bo Mi in a tie for third with Kim Yoo-bin, 233. And then Kim Ji-young, 2, the 5th longest hitter and the winner of the 2020 playing of this tournament. Can tell that it's one of the signs of the changing times when some of the youngest players on tour are the 2 longest hitters on average this season. Let's go through the round highlights. Here's Park Ji-young, a birdie at that point, which took her to 9 under par. Long range putting effort that would reach pay dirt. And then on 18, after having done the heavy lifting, was the 4th consecutive par and an exit with another round of 66. She has got this course figured out. A bogey-free round. Uni Na the only other player in progress to have that feat without a single bogey on the day. Saw some of these earlier. They're definitely worth another look from Bang Min-ji. It makes the final miss all the more puzzling after seeing what she could do from quite a distance away. And the putter's not playing kind to everyone today. That's certainly fair to say. 7 under and a tie for 6th position at the exit for Jung Yoon-ji. Excuse me, with the 1 under round. Uni Na would be the first of 2 consecutive birdies, the only birdies on the day. And Bang Min-ji at the par 3. She needed that one. The 3 on the scorecard, I should say. To 8 with Imi Jung playing sand wedge with her 2nd, only 60 meters down the hill, and she holes out. Without a doubt, her shot of the day, an eagle at the 8th. I don't think she realized it at first. Everyone was rightfully excited behind the green, and she just saw it get wedged by the stick. When she realized that it had fallen, the celebrations could begin. It wouldn't be an eagle for Bang Min-ji, but it would be a good setup for this birdie. It would prove to be her final of the front 9. Back to back. And then we head to the 4th. As mentioned, it would be 2 in a row. This, the long range effort of the par 3. And since that moment, 9 consecutive pars for Uni Na, who is on the 15th and still at 10 under. Bang Min-ji on 10. With the wind howling at her back. She records her 3rd birdie in a 4-hole window. This on 13. 8.7 is what it was playing like despite being just outside of 10 meters. It's a very nice hole out from Im Ji-ni. Beeline for the cup. Yoo Hyun-ju, back-to-back birdies, 8 and 9. She is still trying to climb back into a position inside of the cut line. We go to 16. In what would be the final birdie of the day for ENG. She would finish with a pair of pars back-to-back for a round of 67 and a share of 6th spot on the leaderboard. Bang Min-ji, she certainly had her opportunity. Her final birdie of the day, her 5th of the day after a bogey at 14, but then things got a little bit bizarre for her at 18. We'll see that momentarily. Iso Mi, this is a brilliant finish to the round. She would put together 4 birdies from 12 on after going back-to-back bogeys 10 and 11. Otherwise, she would be up in the top 5. And then this, the strange one, gave herself so much extra room to the left side, and with the power she struck it never had a chance. What should have been a 69 and just 1 shot back would turn into a gap of 2 with the bogey at the last, her 2nd of the day. And where we leave you, where we leave the field, Bang Min-ji 2 back with 134 strokes played through 36 holes of action. We got 1 more hole to wrap up first. That is 15. Well, running out of time, running out of holes to find birdie. She basically has to birdie out to get herself inside the cut line, and she'll nestle that on the border of the fringe and the rough. But too much power on it. And now Uni Na. We're in the final group to tee off today. Group number 43. 130 players started the day after we had a couple of withdrawals. Mata Som, one of the standout rookies this year, withdrew from the tournament after round 1, as did Ijumi. Yunina is able to get herself up. Would be a birdie worthy of the highlight reel we just showed you. And as we wait for group 43 to reach the green, I'll look through at some of the best still images from the day from our tour photographer. Well, whether it is a hand-operated fan or a battery-operated one, they would be in hot supply today with the temperatures. Despite it being nearly 6 p.m., still a bit toasty out there. 28 degrees, what it feels like. Also nice to see some smiles from Chanana before the bodies began to give out on her. Well, it landed on the green, but it would roll all the way off. That was what she was staring down. And now it's a chip from almost an identical position. The border of the rough clears the fringe altogether, gives herself a chance, but it dips to the inside. Well, a similar effort, but this chip goes to the opposite side of the cup. So no birdies to be found. Well, one par secured. Time for another. Still some work to do to save par. This would certainly make the chase a whole lot more interesting for the top if this one goes awry. She walks it in. She knew she had it. 3 to play. 2 strokes. The ground she needs to make up for a large portion of the day. I'm sure so, Jean, keeping an eye on the leaderboard, whether on the phone, word of mouth, or watching the TV to see, and probably now finds herself a little bit surprised to see the gap still what it is. She's put in some brilliant work for consecutive rounds of 66, and with every passing hole, it looks like she will at least be sharing the lead when we join you tomorrow. 62 players are at even or better. That is roughly the number we will see tomorrow when we come back on air. But for now, this is where we will say goodbye. Reminder, our final rounds, they begin 2 hours earlier than the first 2, so that means from 1 p.m. local time, we will be back to Fortune Hills Championship Sunday, where we will crown another champion in this 2022 LPGA Tour of Korea season. This is the 12th event of 34. And Im Genie, can't count her out. She's certainly in the chase. She would be just the second person to defend her title if she can get to the top step. Maybe Imi Jung has some more shots in store like that, and she can go back-to-back titles, which we are still waiting to see this season. Bang Min-ji, she's still in it. She's won 2 events this season, the only player to have more than one. Might she have a third tomorrow? We won't have to wait very long to answer those questions. On behalf of our entire SBS Golf crew, I've been Adam Jenkins. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for your patience during those technical difficulties earlier in the broadcast. We'll have them sorted for tomorrow. Don't you worry. Another great day on tour. We look forward to another one tomorrow. Championship Sunday is next. Round 3 of 3 at this BC Card Hankyung Ladies Cup for 2022.